everyone, I'm Ankita Pokharel. In today's video, we're going to do a reading section on the topic Beauty and the Beast and also read an application letter. Let's begin the class now.
Okay, let's begin reading the story Beauty and the Beast. Once upon a time, there lived a merchant with his 3 daughters at the edge of a dense forest. One day, as he was about to leave home for a work in the town, he asked all 3 daughters if they wanted any presents on his return. The eldest daughter was excited and said, "Oh yes, will you bring me dresses made of silk?" "Very well, those are expensive, I'll try," replied the merchant. The second daughter also had a similar demand. She said, "Oh father, could you please bring me pearl earrings?" The merchant then asked his youngest daughter, Beauty, who was the most beautiful and thoughtful of them all. She said, "You may just bring me some roses, father." The merchant was pleased by the simple demand of Beauty. Promising to try his best to bring them all what they had asked for, he left for the town. On his way back to the village through the dark and dense forest, he lost his way. He suddenly reached the gates of an old and ruined castle. As he passed through the gate inside, he saw a huge bush full of white roses. He happily decided to pluck a few for his Beauty. Just when he was about to pluck the first rose, he heard a roar behind him. "How dare you walk inside my castle without my permission?" The merchant was very scared when he saw a dangerous beast with the head of a lion, the body of a bear, and the legs of a wild dog standing in front of him. "I am sorry. I saw these roses and wanted to take for my Beauty," he said, terrified. "You thief! I won't let you get away with this," snarled the beast. "Sorry, but please let me go back to my daughters. I didn't want the flowers," the merchant replied, shivering with fear. The beast spoke after a while. "Go home, but send your daughter who wanted the roses. Don't lie. If you don't send your daughter by tomorrow evening, I'll come to take you all," he shouted. Reaching home that night, he told what had happened in the forest to his daughters. Although Beauty's sisters told the merchant to send Beauty to the beast so that they would be safe, the loving father did not agree. However, Beauty decided to go to the beast to save her family. The following night, she left home without telling anyone. As Beauty reached the castle of the beast, it warmly welcomed her and took her inside. She was given a proper room to live and well-cooked food to eat. The beast treated her well as a friend. After living for a few months, Beauty and the beast became best friends and lived together. Beauty missed her father and sisters as well. So one night, she asked the beast to give her a day to go to meet her father and sisters. The beast agreed to let her go back only for a day. After she returned home, all became happy to see her back. So they lived happily for weeks. Slowly, Beauty forgot the beast was waiting for her in the castle. One night, she had a dream that the beast was very sick and he was calling her name. Worried that the beast was really sick and guilty and she had broken his trust, she ran back to the castle the next day. Reaching the castle, she found out the beast was really ill. "Oh, I'm so sorry I left you alone," she said to him with tears in her eyes. "I'm so happy to see you after all these days, Beauty. I feared you would never come back," said the beast. After that, Beauty started crying and all her tears fell upon the beast's face. Magically, the beast turned into a handsome young man. "Who you are?" Beauty was surprised. "It's me, the beast," the young man said. He spoke again. "I was a prince. I used to kill the wild animals a lot. So the god had given me a punishment and turned me into a beast. When I pleaded the god to turn me back to a human, the god said that only a true friend's teardrops would help. Now you help me turn into a human." Beauty was overjoyed to hear this. Later, they invited Beauty's father and sisters to live with them in the castle. They all came to live happily together forever. So, in this chapter, the story of Beauty and the Beast continues with Beauty's journey to Beast's castle. फेरि भन्छु है. So, in this chapter, we read a story about Beauty and the Beast. Firstly, we had an introductory part where we were introduced to a merchant who lived with his 3 daughters, and he had promised to bring them gifts from town. This was how the story had begun. The story further explained the 3 daughters' wishes. The eldest daughter wanted silk dresses, the middle daughter wanted pearl earrings, and Beauty, the youngest daughter, asks only for a rose. Okay, so while he was going into the town, the merchant gets lost in the forest, where he also finds a beautiful rose bush in a ruined castle. There, while he was plucking the rose, he had an encounter with the beast. And then, when he got caught by a terrifying beast, the beast demanded the merchant's daughter in exchange for his own life. The beast demanded that Beauty should come to his place in exchange of merchant's life. The story moves further when the merchant returns home and tells his daughter about the beast. Upon hearing the demand of the beast, Beauty insists on going to the castle to save her father. Along with the father, she also had to save her sisters. Next, Beauty reaches the castle, receives a warm welcome, and then the beast and the Beauty become friends. After having spent a lot of time together, Beauty wishes to return to her home. But the beast says that she could go home only for a day. The condition was she had to get back after a day. But Beauty forgets about him upon returning home. One night, she dreams that the beast is sick and calling for her. She feels guilty and then she rushes back to the castle. And she actually finds that the beast is ill and expresses her remorse. Now, when she was feeling bad, she got very bad that she started crying. Sorry. Now, as she was feeling really bad, she starts crying over the sick beast, and then her tears fall down upon him, and then he magically gets transformed into a handsome prince. Explains that he was cursed into a beast for his cruelty towards animals, and then he also said that upon pleading the god has said that only a true friend's tears could get him back to the state that he was in, and since Beauty was a real friend to him, he had turned into a prince as he was before. The story ends stating that all of the people of Beauty's family and the prince stayed together happily ever after. So this is all the story is about. If we have to discuss the key themes, we get to know that the story Beauty and the Beast explores themes of love, sacrifice, and inner beauty. It also teaches us that appearances can be deceiving. Deceiving means betraying, right? What we always see as good would not always be good, and what we always find ugly or not good cannot always be so. It can be the either way. So appearances can be deceiving. Through this, we get to know that true beauty comes from within. So here we have a letter in front of us. Let's read it out and then understand it point by point. So the letter is written on April 5, 2020 to the principal of Sri Padmodaya Secondary School, Kathmandu. The subject is application for sick leave. Dear Madam, with due respect, I would like to inform you that I will not be able to come to school tomorrow as I am suffering from fever. The doctor has suggested me to take medicine and take a rest for some days. I am visiting the doctor tomorrow. Therefore, I request you to grant me a leave for a day. I shall be very grateful to you. So, it's written by Mukesh Sharma, a 6th grader student. So, let's break down the letter. The purpose that Mukesh Sharma is writing this application is to inform his teacher that he won't be able to attend school the next day due to illness. So, the purpose has just been discussed. And why would he not be able to attend the school? The reason he mentions is that a doctor has advised him to take rest and also take medication, right? And there's a request also given within the application. He politely requests the teacher to grant him leave for one day. He also has a polite closing. He ends the letter here, as you see. He ends the letter with your obedient student, showing respect to the teacher. So the key points we have to keep in mind while we write down an application, taking an example of this letter, is the maintenance of formal tone. So the language used here in this letter is formal and respectful, appropriate for a letter to a teacher. Since it's written to the teacher, the principal, we need to use the formal tone. Clarity. The next thing is clarity. The letter clearly states the reason for absence and expected duration of leave without taking anything away from the topic, right? The subject is application for sick leave and there is a clarity maintained throughout the letter. No extra things have been mentioned. All right. Next thing, politeness. So Mukesh uses phrases like with due respect. He also uses I request you here to maintain a polite and respectful tone. So these are the things we need to keep in mind while we write down a formal application for leave. The application given here is concise, clear, and polite, which are the essential qualities for any formal communication. So, write an application of leave to your class teacher explaining that you have a common cold and you shall be on a leave for the next few days. So, the subject should be, as we had read earlier, the subject should be mentioned as application for sick leave, and also try to keep in mind the essential points that we require when we have to write down a proper application. Giving a quick recap, the formal tone should be mentioned, you should be on point, the letter should be clear, and you also need to look that you are polite enough as you are requesting for leave. How did your class go today? If you have any suggestions or feedback, feel free to reach out to us at learning@dearwalk.edu.np. See you in the next class with another lesson. Thank you.